Good evening, guys. Welcome back to the Screen Team. I'm Chris, and we've got a great show for you of movie reviews. We've got a lot of good stuff. Let me take a look here. I kind of forgot. We've got The Accountant coming up with Ben Affleck. We've also got the movie, what's that one called? I don't know. We'll get to that one, too, later.
Wolf in the Dark or something like that.
I did it with Sabrina, and it was a scary movie, and I don't think she liked it very much. So we don't have a lot of glowing reviews for that one, so it should be fun coming your way here in a few minutes. But first up, we've got Mark Sanders. And Mark, we've got a movie that you're a fan of. It's called Real Genius. This is your typical 80s film, right?
It's an 80s film that, unless you were around in the 80s, you may not have seen. It certainly doesn't get as much attention as a lot of the John Hughes movies.
Sure.
But I think it's one of the best of the 80s movies, and I think that a lot of the subjects that we see in the movie really hold up today. One of the things that I would love to see, because Hollywood loves just to remake everything. I don't think they should remake this as a movie, but I think it would make a great TV series. Okay. Set in the modern age, like sure. at a technical college with all these super geniuses running around.
So this movie's got these super geniuses. What are they doing in this movie?
Well, they're doing lasers, which we didn't know a whole lot about in the 1980s. So you could just say lasers, and of course the computers are all just the green screen text. But still, it was very high tech for its time. The real appeal, for me at least, in the movie is the relationship between Val Kilmer, who is really he's so appealing in this in a comic role, and then a young 15-year-old prodigy played by, I believe the actor's name is Gabe Jarrett. I can't remember that I've ever seen him in anything else, but sort of mentor to new student and bringing him up to speed. And there's there's a lot of intrigue. They're building a high-powered laser, but they don't really know what it's for, and then they find out that the military actually has it for some nefarious purposes, and so the last act of the movie is them trying to derail the military's plans to use their technology for bad rather than good.
So we've got the military. They're the bad guys in this film, but another bad guy is the bad guy from Ghostbusters.
William Atherton, who just, in this case, he's Dr. Jerry Hathaway, who is a professor and a scientist, and he's in charge of the team commission for this. And, he's arrogant, he's rude, he's dismissive to the students, and he hates popcorn, which is very strange. If you've never seen the movie, though, that's a very important point. He hates popcorn.
Let's just get right into it. I know it's the very end scene, but that popcorn scene is amazing, because it's not CGI.
Right.
It's all practical effects, and it's pretty amazing.
It really is. They constructed the entire house on set, and then I forget how much popcorn they actually had.
They had a lot.
But they just brought it in cardboard boxes and dumped it out and filled the house with it, and then set off air cannons to blow it out the window.
There's no way they would do that in a movie.
Oh, no.
They would CGI that and be like, okay, we're good,
Yeah.
But that scene was amazing. And you mentioned Val Kilmer earlier, and I loved him in this role. He was a genius. He was a smart, brilliant kid, but he knew how to have fun.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the one of the messages of the movie. His character says, when you're smart, people need you, but you need to find a balance. You can't just work all the time. You need to take time to have fun. And that's part of the fun of the movie. They because they're super smart, they basically build a ski slope inside their dorm.
Yeah.
And then another one, he puts together a little water park inside an auditorium. And my favorite prank is the character Kent, who's sort of a toady to Dr. Hathaway, embarrasses Mitch, the young, embarrasses Mitch in front of the rest of the classmates. So to get back at him, they move his car into his room.
That was amazing.
They open the door, and I love the line that Kilmer says, That's your car, Kent.
This movie came out, what, 85, 86, somewhere around there?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
I know you said that you'd like to see it kind of be remade as a TV show, but do you think the movie itself, do you think it still holds up to today? If your kids or your grandkids wanted to watch this movie, do you think it would be enjoyable for them today?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like the humor is not time specific.
Mm-hmm.
The politics are practically indistinguishable from today. You essentially have the military who wants to have the ability to assassinate targets from space without being detected.
Right.
And certainly kids can relate to lasers and computers. And again, they were in a fairly primitive state, but this movie predated the internet and the World Wide Web, and so they're using up dial-up modems, but they're still hacking into computer systems,
Sure.
and kids are very savvy about
Sure.
those things today.
I love another character I love is I forgot what the actor's name is, but I think he played Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite. He in this movie he played the guy who goes in the closet.
The guy who lives in the closet.
He
Yeah,
never comes out.
Jonathan Grease, and he's playing Laszlo Holyfeld. Yeah, and Holyfeld is the character who, similar thing happened to him. He worked really hard in the 70s and then found out that they had used his discovery to harm people, and he kind of he has said he cracked, he had a mental break, now he lives down in the steam tunnels. But he kind of comes out to help our heroes
Sure.
get their laser back at the end, and so he becomes a really important character.
It's a great movie. It's called Real Genius, starring Val Kilmer, and you can find it on DVD. Mark, thank you for your expertise and introducing this movie to me. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Appreciate being here as always.
We got more movie reviews coming your way next, right here on The Screen Team.